welcome back to Darthmod, Poland, Lithuania campaign. We're doing the short campaign, and Württemberg have attacked us, just in case anybody's coming to this video new and they think, what on earth is going on? We're attacking the main town of Württemberg. They've attacked us, they've left an army sort of stranded in the middle of Europe. We've managed to bypass them and go straight for their capital. So, they've only got one territory. If we take this place, there it is, then we're going to defeat them as a nation. Looking over here, I can see that we've already battered down one of the walls. If you remember, I don't know if you saw the video before, hope you have, but what I've done is I've amassed a large battery of artillery so that I can knock down the walls. This is a game I've already played, the battle I've already fought it earlier today, so I'm now looking at this as a replay, so I can have a good look around and see what's going on and seeing all the damage that's caused. So I expect to see some bodies around here. Now normally, well, during the game rather, and normally while I'm playing the game, I'm so preoccupied with all the other things that are happening, I don't get a chance to look at any of this. So I thought I'd pay a little bit of attention to it and see exactly what was going on at the time. So what the overall plan was, if you look at this big map up here, let's get a bit closer. Sorry, let's move on to these on the side here. You see that top right there, top right map? Well, also the right hand side of that, you'll see I've got 5 infantry units in here, all concealed, yeah, ready to attack this side of the fort. So he shouldn't really have any awareness of those troops being there. Yeah. Now, he does have troops on this side. So my idea is to knock down these walls here and draw his troops into these areas here to defend the breaches. I'm not sure how well that's going to work, but at least it'll stop him firing at me from the walls when I move in. My guns and most of my infantry over here are concealed, so that his guns don't have much to target. Yeah, they'll probably see my guns firing and fire back. Over here I've got my horse also concealed. The idea is that if anything comes out of here, and I kept a very close watchful eye on this, any horse came flying out of there, and have my horse be able to hit them in time to cause damage. Also, watching them very carefully, I was going to put these on canister shot. So the idea was I spent most of the battle watching this. So if he came out of there, as he started to come through those gates, or come through one of those breaches, I was going to charge these and switch those onto canister shot immediately in the hope that we would wipe them out. So that's what most of the battle has been about. Over here, like I said, I've got my infantry ready for my main attack over there. And then over this side here, I've got another brigade, if you like. I'll call it a brigade. It's got 4 regiments in it, so it's fair enough to call that a brigade, I think. And the idea is that this brigade here, because I wasn't allowed to start on this side of the fort, this is the closest I could get to the right hand side. Now you can see I've made a mistake already in that I haven't moved those right at the beginning of the game. So his mortars are playing on my troops here in a very dense column formation and extremely vulnerable, you know, so that was a big mistake of mine. My first priority should have been to move those up there, but as I've explained, I was so carefully watching here, particularly when the breach went down, that these troops went out of my mind. What they will be doing soon is moving up this way and occupying a position over here ready to attack on that side. Now, I did explain that on the previous video that I was going to bring 4 extra infantry units that will come on as reinforcements. The idea behind that is, once the artillery have done their work, they've taken away most of the cannon fire from the walls, and what they've done is they've created breaches for my men to enter. I'm going to withdraw the artillery, and then what will happen is the reinforcement infantry will come along. I hadn't really planned for, when I organised my attack, all these mortars in here. And these mortars really are making a mess of me. It's field artillery, but I think they fired, you know. I think they were still firing. I don't think they're firing now. Maybe they fire later when the wall comes down. I'm really not too sure. Well, the mortars were certainly doing damage because I felt it, there's no doubt about it. What's that, 8-inch mortars, and I'm sure, yeah. This kind of thing that I find very surprising, you know, in that they haven't got the technology to have weapons like this. Darthmod, the garrisons can have these kind of troops, and boy do they do a lot of damage. Now they do say in Darthmod that they've reduced the effectiveness of the mortars, but it certainly didn't feel that way to me, it really didn't. Anyway, when we knocked down this wall, we managed to kill some of his men. I just showed you those when we started the video, and I'm not sure which unit. Maybe it was that one that was on the wall. I'm really not too sure. I don't know if it'll let me. No, it won't. Well, I was going to say if it'll let me see what those troops are. You know, select them and then sort of see what actual abilities they've got. But these are always encouraged by fortifications wherever they are, even if you're fighting them inside. It's a bit of a nuisance, really. They do get some superhuman strength, I'm afraid, from somewhere, which is odd when you think my troops have got, you know, they've got superior bayonets and all sorts of things. So there's the other part of the wall going down. Now, what I'm going to try and do now, my artillery's in an awkward position. It's a case of, do I move them somewhere, take them out of the trees, and be able to target here, or do I try firing at these areas now? And what I did at first was I trained all my guns on here where his infantry were. They were actually there, so I was going to try and knock that down. I had very poor success against that, and I tended to hit that more than I did this. So I then split my gunfire, so I got 2 of my guns firing this way and 2 of them firing that way. But all the time I was very worried that although I'm knocking stone walls down, he's killing men. He's actually killing my my infantry, and he's taking quite a few of them out, and that was a bit unpleasant, really. So I thought maybe I'm going to have a change of tactic. Anyway, you should see now that these troops are on the move. I hope they are. Yes, I finally moved them. You can see where they were by the bodies. Look at this. Unfortunately, one of the things on the replays is it doesn't show you all the units and tell you, you know, how well they're doing or whatever. You can see this unit here is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, probably 11 or so men. This one here has lost only a couple there, so that's 13 in total maybe. And then you start totting these up, and there must be 20 odd of those, so 26. I'd say so. I'd say I'd lost about 40 men already by the time I'd moved. And then, of course, we're taking hits as we move along here as well. So I can't see any bodies on the way, actually, so being on the move's a good thing. One thing that you used to get with battles like these, I don't think Total War have ever done it, but Cossacks used to do. Cossacks are one of the games I used to play a long time ago. It's nowhere near this kind of quality, but one of the features it had was that you could guard between an area. And that idea would be very, very good for Total War. I don't know if they're watching this, but if you wanted to keep, say, your general out of the firing line of mortars and things, instead of just standing him in one place while the rest of the battle was going on and risking him, you could just have him move between one area and another, so they become less vulnerable to the fire. But anyway, these mortars are supposed to be reduced, but look at that. You know, I mean, what are 2, 4, 6, 8, at least 10 there, I would have said, 10 or 11 bodies, more down here. Say 15, 16 bodies, already lost 40 up at the top, so there's about 60 gone already. So you can see why I was starting to get concerned when a unit only has, each of these units has 225, so I mean 60 out of that is, well, almost 30% really of one of those units, so it's quite a lot to be losing, and that's only a rough tot on the top of my head. I think they lost more than that, but you see how it is advantageous to them to be moving. You know, they definitely reduce the number of casualties that they incur when they do that. Right, well, you can see now, having opened up the second breach, that he's defended this area as well. Now, my original plan was to, once I'd done this, was to take 2 of the guns around to this side, obviously far away, and batter down that wall there. That would isolate this corner so I couldn't put anything on there, and allow me to be able to enter this way as well as that way, so I could flank anything that was defending there. But as I've explained already, I was under pressure from the from his mortar fire. I think, on reflection, when I was planning this attack, I'd have been far better off getting a lot more horse to defend my guns, and leaving my horse on there at the beginning of the battle and having a lot more guns. So I'd say having 6 or 8 guns and having about 6 or 7 units of horse, and defending my guns with those horse, and then retiring all my horse, you know, withdrawing them and withdrawing the guns and letting the reinforcements come on, and of course the reinforcements will be infantry who could then scale the walls. But anyway, if what's the word? I mean, it's obviously the value of hindsight, isn't it? But there's a phrase, I've got one in my head, you know, it says, you know, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. But that's not quite the apt phrase, is it really? There is a very good phrase about the, you know, the value of hindsight, you know. You know, if I could have seen into the future, I would have done things differently, sort of thing. You know, but I like little phrases, and that's one of the things I like about the Total War games as well, because you get all those little military phrases. I frequently use them, actually. You know, I use them in my commentaries. I do reenactment battle commentaries. You know, I actually have the microphones to do them, and I often refer to quotes from the Total War games. A favourite of mine is when I'm talking about the pikes going into action as opposed to the muskets firing, and I can talk about the inaccuracy of the muskets, generally the general issue muskets, and the what would be extreme accuracy, I would have thought, of a 16-foot long spear weapon being jabbed. You know, and I talk about Frederick the Great's quote when I explain that, and say, you know, what is it? The bullet is a wild thing, but the bayonet knows its business. You know, I love phrases like those. You know, but anyhow, don't look over here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Still waiting. Still hidden. And I don't think. I'm just going to have a quick look over these. I don't think any of these will have been hit, will they? 225, 225, 225, 225, and 225. So that's really good, you know, that them being hidden is actually making a difference. Oh, it tells you they're hidden as well, doesn't it? Let's have a look at that infantry over there that are by the guns. I'm curious if any of these have been hit. You know, are they the hidden ones or not? Because really, they shouldn't be hit, but could be accidental hits, of course. 225. 225. These are all hidden. I'm sure one of these units wasn't hidden because I couldn't get them all in. I'm not sure now. Ah, that's the one. Eager, fresh, encouraged. 225, and that one there, eager, fresh, encouraged. That one's not hidden either. So those two units there are unhidden, but they still haven't been hit anyway, have they? One of the guns, by the way, couldn't be hidden. I couldn't get enough room in there. There wasn't enough room in there. Sorry. Firing at will. Eager. It's that one there, isn't it? I'm pretty sure all the others were. Actually, that one's not hidden either. Oh, now this isn't right, actually, because in the game when I was playing it, it showed 3 out of 4 of those guns were all hidden. So that's really strong. Oh, I know what it is. I bet you when they start firing, they're unhidden. That'll be what. Well, that makes a great deal of sense then, doesn't it? And of course, during the time my troops are getting into position, I'm watching all the time this area here. What I did was I maximised this, like this, and I kept a very close eye on anything that was moving in here, particularly these. And that's what I did. Sorry, I'm on the top right, by the way, if you're wondering what I'm doing. Yeah. Anyway, you can see the general plan, and I think now, well, I might have a quick look at the musketry firing, because it's nice, isn't it? Whoops, where am I going? But other than that, I think what we need to do... Oh, by the way, I've taken somebody's advice, which was to play the battle on low graphics. That's one of the reasons for doing it in this way. Play the battle on low graphics and then replay it on high graphics, which is what I'm doing now, and it made the battle much more playable. I do find when I've got a lot of guns firing and we're knocking down walls and things, once the graphics start to interpret all that, and the rain's coming down and the cannons are firing and everything, you've got all those graphics, I lag terribly. The game really does lag awfully, so I didn't want to fight a battle like this because it was gonna, you know, you're gonna see all those lags. Let's have a look in here, just see if he has got any horse there that I hadn't noticed. Yeah, oh no. See, I thought all these horses were back, and I think they are, aren't they? I think I got that right. Let's have a look. No, he's got some there. Yeah. No, I didn't notice those. I really didn't. So I thought they were all back here, his horse. Anyway, can't see. He's got some more there as well, hasn't he? Ready to go. See, I was watching this map here, the top right map, you know, waiting for something to break off here, because he originally had loads and loads of horse just in the middle of there. But it still looks like he's defending the breaches, doesn't it? And it looks like he's expecting me to come that way. It would have been really nice to have knocked down this wall as well. But the main thing is to get him off the ramparts where he can fire at me, and he can fire also his cannon. Hey, I read a comment the other day, by the way, from somewhere, and they were talking about the new Total War game, what it's going to be, and quite a few people said, please, no shot, no more shot, our votes for Rome Total War 2 and things. I thought, crikey, that's certainly totally different from what I want. I don't want Rome Total War 2. I mean, I suppose it would be nice to have it improved, because it was a great game, but You know, I want shot. So ignore them please, Total War team, if you're listening to me. We want more shot. What we actually want is the English Civil War period. We want the 30 Years' War. We want imperial massed squares. We want tertios. We want Reiter cavalry. You know, Lancer cavalry. We want Gustavus Adolphus's charging in with the clubbed muskets, and you know, we want to see some action there. Come on, we want to see Prince Rupert's charges at various battles. Which one should we choose? Roundway Down. Let's see him charging at Roundway Down. Anyway, or perhaps at Edge Hill, whatever. But that's the excitement we want to see. Let's see the Cavaliers go into action. Let's see the Roundheads doing their early stage caracole action and being caught out and swept off the battlefield. Exciting stuff, you know. So, and then we could see that in much more dense formations from the Imperial troops as well. Let's see some proper firing from the English Civil War period as well. Let's see some 30 Years' War firing, whereby I don't think we've got any here now that can show us an example, because they're all sort of going to be climbing their walls soon. But what the most common way of firing in the 30 Years' War period, well, certainly the English Civil War, was for the first two ranks to march forward and all the other ranks to stand back. The formations are quite dense, so about 8 in the formation. And then what they do is the first rank of those would fire, bang, yeah, and they would then peel off round the sides, and then the next two ranks, the next rank would fire and peel off around the sides, and then two ranks would march forward and do the same thing again. Those two ranks at the front would march round the back and begin to reload. And the formations were quite small. You'd only have a frontage of about 6 men, and the reason for that is you'd need gaps between the men for each of those, you know, single files to walk through, and that's how it worked. If you had the whole rank firing at the front, that man there on the left would have to march all the way round there to get back to his original place, and that's, you know, obviously that's going to take ages. So the formations were very much different, and it would be really, really good, you know, to see those formations reflected. It really would. Anyhow, that's about 16 minutes of this battle gone, and we've seen nothing really but manoeuvring. So once something starts to happen and we start climbing walls and things, we'll see what... Oh, hang on, we might be doing it now actually. Let's have a look. No, I will actually watch it, because one thing I was curious about is at what point he decided that he didn't need, or he no longer needed to defend this rampart. I also want to see how well he does against my troops on the walls, because he did seem to fight with real superhuman strength, you know. Well, these should now be quite a distance away. The idea is to stagger this attack. All he's got on that side there, defending that, is this one here, with the potential of this one coming in as well. So, I couldn't put anybody around the back, didn't really have time to do that. Again, being hit by the mortars all the time, it just wasn't worth me doing it. I'm pretty sure, by the way, he started firing his artillery at some point. He's like, no, that's not artillery. He's put a horse around there, hasn't he, to prevent me from coming down there. And horse are very, very effective in this against infantry, there's no doubt about it. He's done the same there as well. He's using that horse, hasn't he, to defend those areas. Where's that artillery? Artillery was what I was interested in. Has it begun to fire? I'm pretty sure his guns actually started to fire as well. Oh, looks like that's on fire as well. 61% damage on that. Well, that's interesting. And he's got some casualties in there. Oh, now that's it. I didn't notice that. I wonder if my guns started to fire, you know, at a target they could reach. Crikey. No, I had no idea we'd hit any of those. 2 out of 4 of the guns have gone. Wow, that's amazing. They're the mortars. We've obviously been returning fire from artillery because I've given them a target they can't fire at. They've chosen their own target, haven't they? 8-inch mortars, 8-inch mortars, 8-inch mortars. Are these the artillery? Where's the artillery gone? I know he had some just normal guns. I'm pretty sure he did anyway. Are they all artillery? All mortars, sorry. Yeah, they're all mortars. When I say artillery, I mean like artillery pieces. Mortars were really siege weapons, weren't they? So I don't think they were ever called artillery. Oh, they might have been. I don't know. Okay, now I was rather hoping that when my men got on the walls here, they'd start shooting down at his horse. and it took ages and ages before they started doing that. It's probably because they want all of these men to be in position first before they'll do that. Now, right, here's something I've missed. Here's something else that happened. He sent some horse out here to attack my infantry that were climbing the walls, so he sent them to attack round that side. He also managed to get some infantry on there. They were probably down here and then moved up there, so I had to fight him on the walls, and his horse were attacking me from there as well. So what I did was I sent my horse in from quite a distance away. They're not there yet, they'll be on the way. Not too sure exactly where they are. They got waylaid, that's right. So while his horse were out there attacking those, I launched in against his horse here on this side. I think an infantry regiment came out there as well, actually. I think I went for his infantry regiment as well. That's it, yeah. I've missed it. I'm sorry about that. But at one point, he sent an infantry unit out of here to come and attack my men climbing the walls. So I launched my horse at him. That's right. That's what happened. And it's the line infantry that's going. While I was doing that, yeah, I've got it right now. While I was doing that, he brought out his horse from here to attack my men as they were climbing the walls. So they were being hit along here at the same time. They were being hit on the walls here, so my poor chaps there were struggling like mad. That's probably one of the units that's going to rout, I'm afraid. So, okay. Still seem to be doing okay for time, and it's not lagging at all. It didn't lag in the battle, but I had it on very low settings. Now I've increased the settings, taking the advice, of course, so that I can show the whole thing. I don't know if it tells me. Now that says time remaining, but obviously I didn't take the whole time. I'm just wondering if I can manage to show the whole battle without actually cutting any of it, you know. Because I'm going to devote the whole of this video actually to the battle. Yep, there we go, climbing the walls. Now what I was most disappointed about was when we got onto these walls we weren't able to fire down at the enemy. I think it's because it takes so long to get all the men in place, and then what happens of course is that he's up there quicker than we're actually in position. So it looks as though he's defending the walls and we're still climbing them. Well, it does look like there it's lagged a bit, doesn't it? And it's stopped. Oh no, we're still moving. I don't know, maybe it's because I was moving around, I'm not too sure. Right, you can see what's happening though, can't you? Now we're going over the walls on that side. We should be now advancing on this side. I don't know what's happening. There we go. There's 3 on that side. I put another 2 over this side, and he brought a unit out here to meet us. So we sort of lined up and took those away. You should be finding that we start to fire on that. I think I stopped my attack here. I was intending to march up to there so I could engage through here, or at least threaten an attack through there, stopping them from going on the walls there. But anyway, that didn't really pan out very well for me. So here we go. We're about to shoot at those. Let's watch that. So another thing I was a bit disappointed in actually about what happened here. Anyway, time to slurp a cup of tea. So I noticed about this economic crisis we're in at the moment, nobody's mentioned that there might be a problem with tea. So I'm very pleased about that, thank you very much. Right. Now let's see if the volley fire is working. Ought to be. Yes! Brilliant! Now he should begin to suffer here. Got 2 units firing at him. All he's got is, well actually they are line infantry. They're called provincial line infantry, so from the provinces. I don't see why they would be from the provinces, because they're defending their home territory, but oh well. 36 out of 225. Now bearing in mind we're going to wipe out this unit, it's not going to stand a chance. He's brought it out into the open here. Bearing in mind we completely wiped out one of his infantry units over here. On this corner here that I told you about. Now he's yeah, we sorted out the cavalry that were going down here, I think, attacking my yeah, that's right, they were attacking my troops going over the wall, so my cavalry went that way. He then launched another cavalry unit, he seemed to have lots of them, against my infantry here in line, and line really do seem to struggle against against cavalry. It's like the squares don't count for hardly anything at all. It's extraordinary, really. So they might just survive if they're in square. In line, they're just absolutely murdered. But you see how everything just goes right through. Oh, they're probably mine anyway, those, aren't they? Yeah, but his go right through as well. You can see some of the bodies inside there. Yeah. So, anyway, we managed to defeat him by forming square. Then what we've got to do is get this horse out of here again and form line again. And we should be manning the walls. Here we go. We've taken the gate now as well. That's this area here. Now, what I wanted now, really, most of all, and you see the enemies coming on here as well, was to man these walls and start shooting from the walls. But he came over, so we decided to attack him. But I think he must be heartened or something by the walls. It does say encourage charging, but you notice he doesn't. I don't think he has bayonets. I didn't notice any anyway. So no, he hasn't got any bayonets, and we're going in with bayonets against him. Now he might well have caught these chaps out. I might have been expecting those to fire. I'm not too sure. But you notice, by the way, also that my reinforcements are on now. There's no artillery on the field now. We've just got the reinforcements that have arrived. So we're now battling it out on the walls. And I was disappointed with our success on the walls. I really was. So I'm going to be having a word with the sergeants after this battle and telling him that he needs to be improving the men's close combat skills. It does look a bit as though we're sort of almost outflanked as well, doesn't it, there? But, you know, we're doubly outnumbering him here. Okay, he's got 260 there left out of 300. His units are much bigger than mine. But, you know, I've got... you see, I'm down to 97 there now. Oh, it's because of those, isn't it? They're not doing anything, they're just standing there. That was the problem. So either I didn't send them in, or I was hoping them... I think I was hoping they were going to fire on there and engage them with fire, and these would be enough to defeat them. I do have others on the wall. I should have. There we go. Now, I'm hoping they were firing. Yeah, maybe it's those that shot out some of the mortars. I'm not too sure now. I put one of these on the back, by the way, as well. Oh well, a couple on the back actually, it looks like. I didn't realise, I'd forgotten that, sorry. Over here, some success. 60 out of 300 he's got there. You'd think this was a resounding success, wouldn't you, really? A brilliant victory, you know, because we're slaughtering 2 of his units, all his horse and everything, so it looks really well in our favour. 173, 225 there, 135. His units are bigger though, I have to say. Oh, mind you, that one's struggling a bit. But look, I mean, he's got probably about nearly 600 men there against my 300. I think that's what the problem was. Maybe it was just that his units were just so much larger than mine. I just don't know. But, let's have a close up and see what's happening. We might be able to tell the sergeant how we can improve. I think the sergeant will probably be telling us. I think we need 1 or 2 more men. Look at him, he's taking on about 10. Oh dear. And now he's right in the middle of them, pushing his way through. So yeah, it is a bit like it's a bit like a few men taking on a mob, isn't it? There, really. Anyway, we've got 27 minutes gone now, and I'm worried that we're that I'm going to run out of time before finishing this video. So what I'm going to do is just cut to the chase, and then I'll show you what happens when we get closer in. Okay, here we go now. We've managed to free up the cavalry to be able to take out these mortars. So that's the first lot gone. They've been needed on the way in, by the way. He flung a general at my infantry as they came in, and so I had to again rescue them with my horse. They've had a very, very busy day, the horse. Notice in the top right there, there's 1 minute and 53 seconds of the battle remaining, so that should fit the length of the video really well. He lined up some infantry here, and to engage me, I outflanked him. He attacked me with some firelock armed citizenry. They've just finally gone now. There were about 30 odd of them that attacked me in the flank there, and they kept me fighting there and stopped me firing back there for what seemed like, well, at least 5 minutes I would have thought. Yeah, it seemed like more, to be honest with you. So anyway, he's outgunned from both sides here. I brought somebody up behind him as well to fire at him. There he is, there they are. Oh, I've got to stop my stopwatch again. never mind. Maybe I don't need it because there's a timer up there anyway, isn't there? So, have you stopped firing now? No. Okay. And another fire. Come on, chaps. We're waiting. And again, one more. They do seem pretty slow at this firing, don't they? Ah. I'm quite looking forward to platoon firing, actually, seeing what a difference that makes. But I need organised procurement to get that, you know, to improve the barracks and then move on that way. But we'll see. But anyway, time's running out for him now. Like I said, we're engaging him here. I can't withdraw from other areas where we're engaging in order to save troops' lives, because he tends to kill more when you retire. So we're engaging with our. This is probably all 4 of our reinforcing armies that have come on here. Our reinforcing brigade. You remember we replaced the artillery with 4 infantry units. I've decided now to outflank him a bit as well. Obviously, I want to keep my losses down. Yeah, because I would then have to garrison the place with reduced numbers of troops, and also have to pay in order to restore those troops. Ah, right, okay, well that was the end of it, wasn't it? Anyway, you only get the overall results of this. You don't get a breakdown of... oh, you do actually. You get the unit statistics. Oh, that's good. Oh, good. I was thinking that was lost and you wouldn't be able to see that. So, right, okay. Some of this, of course, will be allocated stuff. You know, in other words... because the battle, let's go back up again, you know, because the battle was ended in terms of time and the enemy was completely wiped out, it'll you know, it'll allocate all the other casualties to various units, you know, so that's pretty good. In fact, let's just have a quick look at that again. I just want to know about chevrons, because one unit got a load of chevrons and didn't kill many men, and I wondered why. Here it is. Now that's strange, because when I was looking at it, he seemed to kill, or maybe he lost, yeah, 70 odd men or something like that. But anyhow, he's lost 148 men, so he'd have had 78 remaining, or 70 odd remaining, or is it probably, I can't remember now, but I remember seeing 70 odd, so he only had 70 odd men left. Now, if you look there, he's gone from 1 chevron to, is it 6? I can't remember, 4 and 1, maybe it's 5, is it? Do they go from, I think it's 4 chevrons and then up to this, isn't it? So that's probably 5 chevrons now, isn't it? I'm not too sure, but it's very high from 1 anyway. He's killed 144. There are others that have killed a lot more than that, but they didn't lose so many men, you know, which is a bit strange, isn't it, really? And if you look at this one, they lost 151 men and killed 171, so they killed more, you know, and they didn't gain so many chevrons. So I really don't know how this works. I mean, I can understand that one, of course, but when you look at some of the big kills, you know, you look at this one here, 223, lost only 67. He didn't gain anything, but he's killed more than any of them. It seems to be based on the numbers that you lost as well, you know, but anyhow, that's it for that. I think now if I exit this, it just goes on to the battle screen. So what I'll do now is I'll take you straight on to the battlefield, and you can see the... In fact, no, let's not. Let's just end the video here, actually, because otherwise I'm going to end up going well over time. Okay, so anyway, I hope that battle looks good on the screens for you, and I hope you're okay about just having an entire video on battle. I will put a note on the comment, as you know, saying that on the description, letting people know. So if they're not so interested in watching battles, then they can always skip it and go on to the next one, can't they? Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that anyway.